Power Apps and when combined with Power Automate, can lead to a very dynamic and capable printing function. So for a long time, everybody viewed Power Apps as just something you do on the screen, but the reality is that we need to print some of these reports as well. So today, we're going to talk about how to create a dynamic reporting environment that you can spawn off from your Power App and initiate a Power Automate routine to run. So stay tuned. We're going to jump right to it. So this book that we're going to be going through, we're going to be taking this section by section. This complete book of all of the videos can be seen at this address here, gumroad.com, Jeffrey Lush, and then this is the identifier for this book itself. So let's jump right to this. As you can see, setting up this dynamic print environment involves many steps. We're going to go through each one of these steps, although they're going to be in a different video. We'll try to link them all together for you here in the book. All right, so what are we going after? Really what we're going after here is the ability right here to say, hey, I want to do this report, I want to have these drop downs, and I don't want to go out to Power Automate and start something. I want it just to click based on the parameters that I feed it from within Power Automate, Power Apps. So the text labels themselves play a very important role, and I explain this more in the text here of the book. You can pause the screen and read it, pause the video, of course, and read it. But here, before I really start creating a report for anybody, I want to make sure I understand exactly what they want in the report. And this is important because of the type of data I need to collect. So remember that I'm collecting information for these reports within Power Apps, and I'm transferring the information from Power Apps to feed the script inside of Power Automate. So I need to really have an understanding of what the fields are going to look like and what type of data that I'm going to put into the report. Now, something we don't go into this video on are multi-lines of text. There's a setting inside of the list itself, and let me just pull up the list here and show you what that looks like here. There's a setting that's a real pain in the neck, and it's not that big of a deal, but you just want to make sure, again, critical that you understand the types of data that you're looking at. I clicked on the gear, you can't see it. I'm going to go to list settings, and I'm going to go to a multi-text field right here, work notes. Now, if your work notes, I always select plain text. If you have rich text and enhanced text selected, you're going to have a challenge with your report. The report is just going to come out differently. That's all. You'll see a bunch of HTML code on the report as it tries to decipher what the information is, and it just doesn't look right when you do the printout. So just kind of a quick kind of sideline there. Okay, so we have an understanding of what we need. We're going to set up a new screen within Power Apps. So we just go to the new screen here, and we just create a new screen. Oops, that's a table. Go back to here and say new screen, and we can just select anything that we want. We're going to just say a blank page. Okay, so you can see here we have screen 2. It's a blank page. It's all good. That's what we're doing, and you can name it whatever you want, printing example or whatever. Now we're going to add this control, and what we're going to do is add a text input control. Okay, we do not want to add a text label, so there we're going to go here. We can also search here for text, and we can see text input right there. So we're just going to go ahead and put in a text input control, and then we're going to go to the next screen. And then remember, with these manuals, you can just kind of follow the screenshots. So we're going to keep it as text input, but we're going to delete the text here. So we're going to go here, and we're just going to delete that so that it doesn't hurt mess with our box. And then we're going to rename the text input control to txtms2. Not that big of a deal. It's right there. We're going to hit F2 on our keyboard. txtms2, I think is what I said. Oops, and it's already being used. Right, of course it is. txtms. Excuse me, ms4. Okay, so we can name it whatever we want. It really doesn't matter. And remember that your label is right here as well. Okay, so you can rename it there. So there we go. We got that. No big deal. We've renamed it. And we're going to talk about why we're renaming it inside of the document as well. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to change this, the hint text. We can see the hint text here. We can also type it in here. I think we can get to it here. Yep. Notice it doesn't say anything now. We're just going to say fields. Okay. We can say whatever we want. That hint text is also right here at the top. Okay. And of course you can type in hint and it come up there. Lots of ways to get at things. Okay. Now we're going to insert a drop-down control. Now this control right here, it's a text input control. So it's really designed for us to click in it and add some data. Okay. Now to make it a little cleaner, I always like to go over to properties here and say right here, clear button. And you can enable, I guess, spell checking as well if you want. So there's a clear button right there. Okay. Now let's go ahead and enter in a drop down. So we're going to just type in here, drop, and we're going to click on the drop down. And here we're just going to put it over. Now that drop down, let's see what the instruction says. Drop down. We're going to rename this drop down to DRP assigned. So we're just going to double click on him. Let's do it up here instead. We're just going to click on him here, and then we're going to say DRP assigned. But I know that there's already one, so we're going to change it to 4. Okay, good deal. So far, so good? Okay. So there we have that. So don't worry about that. We're going to change the items here in a minute, but don't worry about that. Okay, so we created that. Now we need to create a clear collect. Now what this clear collect does for me is it allows me to collect information from, in this case, priority task assigned. So I want this because it's named DRP assigned. Okay, so just so we know, we're going to insert, not in the instructions here, but just for our sanity, we're just going to put here, we're going to put assigned. Okay, and we already have that table. We go back to settings here. This is within our list, and you can see assigned right there. It's a single line of text. So we already have that data within the environment, and that's what we're keying. We're going to key in on. Okay, so if we look at the data itself, and we go down to the assigned column, right there, unassigned, Jeff Lush, a lot of them are unassigned. Oh, there's not that many. So we could put whatever we want in here. Let's just change this value real quick. And we're going to put it to Mickey or Donald Duck. Okay. So now you can see Donald Duck is in there as an assigned person. Okay. So that's where we're getting this data, but we're not there yet. We don't have the data yet. So let's go back to our instructions and see what we need to do. So we're going to go ahead and just take this text from here, and we're going to move it right into where it says items here. And we're just going to go like that. Now, notice here that we have a few adjustments that we need to make. So let's go ahead and see what the issue is here. Okay. All right. So here we want clear collect, need to do one more, and now we still have an error. So let's take a look here. So let's just break it down and do it fresh, clear collect. So the reason why we're having this problem right here is because we're in the wrong section. Okay, so we're going to change this items here in a minute, but I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. So we want to do this as on visible. Wait a minute. We want to do it here at the screen level, and we want to do it for on visible. Okay. Now, let's go ahead and put that in, and notice it works, right? So remember in Power Apps, if you're typing in the wrong area, it's going to give you an error as well. So that's nice. But here, let's look at this. We're making up this right here. We're just making it up, right? So let's format this differently so you kind of see. Okay, so here we call a clear collection, and we can also, if we want to, we can put in here clear, okay, once it's done and clear the information. We're not going to do that because this theoretically says we're going to clear this collection called collect assigned for. So we're clearing the collection, okay? And we put a COL in front of there because it's a collection. And then we're saying I only want distinct individual assignees. So I don't want my list, my drop-down filled with 100 Jeffs. I want, if there's a Jeff, Greg, and Sam, I want all three of them represented. And then we're pulling from this table right here, which happens to be this table. Notice here we have three things in assigned. We have unassigned, Jeff Lush, and Donald Duck. So let's see how well this works. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and go back up. We have assigned, but we're still not quite there yet. So on visible, so that means I need to go back to here and then go back to here. Now it should have created, did you see little things? Let's take this variable. We're going to see if it created anything for us. So let's go ahead and hit go. There it is right there. It has 3 rows. That's a positive sign. 3 rows. Come on. And there they are. Unassigned, Jeff Lush, and Donald Duck. That's exactly what we have within our list. So cool. Congratulations. You made it. So let's go ahead and close that and go back to the code here real quick. Okay, we're almost done. So here, that's the code that you need to copy. Now we're going to wire this thing up, and what we're going to do is turn this drop-down box to point to that variable. Okay, so we have the drop-down box. Notice here we're not on items, so we can go to items, and here it's wrong, so we need to see where that data is. And it happens to be a collection, and how easily we forget. Hold on one sec. All right, it's collection assigned 4. So we're going to go ahead and select that. And notice the first one that comes up in the box is unassigned. If we go here to play this, notice now we have all of them. Okay, so we can just select from the box. What's important to note here is this is a drop-down box. So drop-down boxes do not allow you to search within them. You literally do what they say, drop it down. You could do this as a combo box as well if you wanted to be able to type in the user's name and then get to the information. Me, I'm fine with just doing this. Okay? So 2 different ways to do the same thing. Okay? Well, they do 2 different purposes. So here we wired up, and that's really all we have in this video. So if you get the booklet, just follow along with the booklet in this first chapter. If not, go back and do screenshots, I guess. That'd be the easiest way. But here we've set up these variables for us to get ready to move out on the next step of this video, which is to set up the Power Automate report.